In today's lesson, I am going to teach you step 2 in your Arise and Align journey. This is called gratitude. Now, if I'm being honest with you, which I figured I would be, this is the piece that I resisted the most since I can remember, like 10 years. 10 years I've resisted this practice of gratitude. And I would have never told you that because who wants to admit that gratitude practice is hard? Nobody. Nobody wants to do that. But there you have it. Gratitude practice was super hard for me for a really long time. It felt, I don't know, woo woo. It felt like this make you feel good practice. Like it just didn't seem logical. It didn't seem realistic. And it felt like there were so many problems in the world. Why would I just focus on all the good things to make me feel good? So I resisted it for years, years. Like I even had a friend at one point in time who gifted me a journal on my birthday. And the title of the journal says, "Okay, fine, I'm grateful." Look how far I've come. May I be a testimony. And maybe you can relate, or maybe you can't, and you love this part of the process. Neither here nor there. It just is. It's just a part of the process. And I'm excited to walk you through this step in your journey. Now, let's check out the why behind gratitude and why it's so important in your journey. And like I unpack everything, there's physical benefits and there's spiritual benefits. But let's look at the physical benefits first, which are incredible just in and of themselves. Number one, gratitude actually can help reduce depression. It's been known to help you lessen anxiety. It actually could even support your heart health. It relieves stress. It improves sleep. And did you know that they even consider it to be the healthiest emotion? And the reason why is that there's huge practice around leaning in and letting gratitude shape your brain. That means research has even found that gratitude causes this activation in multiple parts of the brain regions, and it's like it lights up parts of the brain's pathways. And so, in short, gratitude can actually boost these transmitters in our brain and activate the brainstem to produce dopamine. You're like, JG, what does that mean? Dopamine is your brain's pleasure chemical. And if you remember, I've taught about this over and over and over again that the brain is designed to pursue pleasure or to run from pain. And so by practicing gratitude, what it does is it gets your brain activated to the point that goes, "Ooh, I like this. I want more of it." And it continues to do that and it continues to seek that. And then what that does is it's actually creating pathways on the brain. What does that mean? It means that if we want to change the way we look at life, we need to change the way we think about life. And the way that we can actually start to think about life differently is going to be found in our gratitude practice, which is brilliant. So when you think grateful thoughts, you start to feel grateful emotions. And when you feel grateful emotions, you start to act in grateful ways, which is why I think the Bible is so clear on this. And in First Thessalonians, we read, "Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." We also read in Psalms 118, verse 24, "This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Now, I know though, you're sitting there, some of you, not you, but maybe others, who are like, "JG, but you don't understand. I don't have anything to be thankful for. I'm in a crazy, hard season. I've been in this season for a decade, and I've lost sight of what to be thankful for because it's just so hard." That's true. And that doesn't make you crazy, it makes you human. But look, I even have a friend right now who is fighting the battle of cancer. And as we leaned in on this topic, this is what she said. She says, "This journey is not the end of me. It's going to make me who I need to be." She says, "I don't know who this person is yet because it's been buried through years of trauma, heartache, disappointment, and maybe you can relate." But she was recognizing the fact that maybe, just maybe, this journey, this hard, wasn't here to break her, but to make her and to shape her into who God's created her to be. And so I want you to hear that I hear you. And this is going to be the best practice, regardless of the season of life that you're in. And I want you to know that life can be hard at times. But check this out. When we start to really understand what gratitude is, it will blow our mind because here's the definition. It's the quality of being thankful. That is a noun, team. That means, as a noun, it defines the subject matter. Who's the subject matter? You. That means that being thankful is who you are. Now, you might not always feel thankful. You might not always feel grateful. You might not always act grateful, but guess what? It's a state of being, it's who you are. And if we even lean into that word thankful, right? Look at the word underneath the word. Thankful by definition means pleased and relieved. Pleased and relieved. Why relieved? I would like to propose to you that it's because in your state of gratitude, your identity of being a grateful person, you're not just thankful for what God has done for you, you're thankful for who He is, period. This point right here is worth the price of admission. Gratitude honors who God is, it doesn't honor what He does. Oftentimes, we think that gratitude is simply a practice of only the things that we have, only the things that God has done for us. And though, sure, that is going to be included in your morning practice, it's powerful to reflect upon all the things that God has done for you, all the things that you have, all the things, right? The laundry list of them. I'm thankful for this person, I'm thankful for that person, and I'm thankful for my body, and I'm thankful for my house. And but if we only lean in on that part of the equation, we're just focused on the things that He's done for us or the things that we have. And what we're overlooking is that gratitude is not a practice of just, here, God, I'm thankful for all the things you've done. It's, I'm thankful for who you are. What that means is that gratitude honors how real God is and not how not permanent our circumstances are. Gratitude honors the goodness of God and not just the intellectual understanding of a finite circumstance that we can get fixed on. Gratitude honors the magnitude and the eternal nature of God and not just the here and now. Gratitude honors who God is, not just what God does, which leads me to the spiritual benefits of what gratitude really does, because there's extreme spiritual benefits to this. Number one, and part of the reason that it's at the beginning of this practice, is that it causes the alignment of our posture. What does that mean? It means that it starts to calibrate our mind and our heart to be fixed not on just what's going on around us, but on heaven, not on circumstances, but on God. It starts to build fellowship with you and God, because it's not, again, just a laundry list of all the things that He's done, but it starts to create this conversation around who He is. And once you start to reflect upon who He is, this is automatically going to allow you to deepen your trust in Him, not just what He's done, not just what He will do, but who He is. This causes you then to strengthen your faith, and then it allows you to start doing things from a place of faith, which then starts to testify and be your witness to a lost and dying world. What does that mean? It means that all of a sudden you start showing up differently, even when circumstances have not changed, and the people around you go, "Why are you so happy? Well, all of a sudden are things going good?" No, I just serve a good God. Why? Because did your prayer get answered? Not yet. So why are you so happy? Because I know a faithful God, because I know a good God. And that is your testimony. Yes, the revelation of your dreams coming true, the manifestation of your prayers, do not get me wrong, those are important. And the world needs to see that we have a God who is delivering miracles on the daily. But what also the world needs to see is people who are focused and relentless and loving a God in the process, in the in between. This is your witness. This also allows you to start the process of honoring who God is and not just what He does. This is part of that gratitude practice. And in these moments, what I want is not for you just to think about these incredible things, not to just think about how incredible our God is. I want you to actually feel the gratitude. I want you to feel the goodness of God. I want you to feel the emotions of heaven. Here's why. Because if you're like me, this part of the process, right, you're going to crack open that journal, and yet again, you're going to find another day of, okay, I'm going to just write all the things that I'm grateful for. I'm going to write all of the things about God that I'm grateful for. And what can happen if we're not careful is it becomes just one more thing we check off the list. This was in my journey, the part that when I finally find I'm going to be grateful, I would just kind of go through the mechanics, right? Okay, God, you're good. Thanks for my coffee. Oh, that meeting yesterday was awesome. Like I started to only look for the things that, like, oh yeah, on paper, like that's good, that's good, that's good. And I would skim by it and I was missing the juice. What's the juice? Feeling it. Feeling it. That means if you were to sit and reflect upon the goodness of God, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to feel what the goodness of God feels like. Right. Even for those of you who are like, okay, I appreciate this and I'm going to meditate on the goodness of God. But yes, it is also being super grateful and honoring all the things that He has done for you in your life and all the things that you currently do have in your life, which for some of you, if you're like me, some days that was just simply the cup of coffee that I held in my hand. It was the quiet in my home. It was the heartbeat in my chest. It was the laughs before bedtime. It was even that hard conversation that I had had the day before. But instead of just writing it, I would begin to pause and I would sip my coffee and I would go, I actually really love this taste of coffee. And I would sit and I would wire my soul, my heart to feel it. Then I would sit in the quiet of a home. And you know, me being a mom of 5 children, that doesn't happen very often. And I would sit in the quiet and I would adore the peace. And then I'd sit there long enough to go, but I don't want it to be quiet forever. And then I would think about the loud of last night's bedtime and the laughs that we had and chase the babies around to put their PJs on for the 17th time. And I would begin to smile and go, oh, this is the joy of parenting. And then I would reflect upon that hard conversation that I had with my husband. And even though it was uncomfortable, I would go, you know what? I like who these conversations are making me. All of it. I want you to feel all of it. I want you to feel it and I want you to allow heaven's emotions to cascade over who you are. When we do this, this gratitude practice ultimately starts to enable us to see the very hand of God guiding our lives. It starts to strengthen our ability to stay in alignment with Him. It allows us to trust in Him. It allows us to wake up the emotions that for some of us we have put on the back burner for a long time. That was me. I was numb for years. And in doing this gratitude practice, it started to create safety in the emotional world for me again. It started to help me recognize that the emotions of love and joy and peace were just as valid as even the anxiety and the depression. But ultimately, what this space allowed me to do is to create some safety around the good emotions, around how grateful I really was. And what that did is start to help me see the things that I couldn't see before, not because my coffee or the bedtime shenanigans or, the quiet more, not that it wasn't there. It just gave me eyes to see. This is what's special about our practice of gratitude. And the beauty of this is it's not just something that happens in the first 5 minutes of your day. Like any piece of this Horizon Aligned journey, it's designed for you to access throughout your day. That means that any time of the day, you can anchor in to gratitude moments. When the day is hard, you can still find the good in it. When you're having a moment with your kids and you're sharing secrets or you're giggling in a moment, you can stop and go, oh, I am so grateful for this moment. It just creates this channel to heaven that allows you to create the right mindset, heart set at any time of the day. This is also where you just get to go, God, you are so good. I may not always understand you, your will, your way, your time, but you are good. This is the power of gratitude. So, in this practice, I want to encourage you, lean in, let it be awkward. Sometimes it's going to be messy. Sometimes you're not always going to feel like it. Sometimes you're not always going to think like it. But ultimately, the power of these practices is so you get better at it each and every time. And I promise you that when you lean into this practice of gratitude, it's going to serve your mind, it's going to connect your heart, and it's going to posture you to align with heaven every morning.